Hello, you're listening to the one and only Everyday Superpower, the place where you can learn about body language, you can learn about nonverbal communication, you can learn about who's lying to you, who's attracted to you, and what signals you put out into the world. If you like what you hear, click like, click subscribe, leave a comment, do whatever you wish. Without further ado, let's get on with the lesson. So today is going to be a bit of a freestyle, alright? We're going to be talking about a particular situation and something you can, pay attention to. We're going to be talking about dating. We're going to be talking about going on a date and sitting across a table from a fine young woman you may be interested in, okay? So, we're going to talk about optimizing the communication between you and this woman, starting with if anything is obstructing your communication between the two of you. We've spoken earlier about body blocking, alright, and using objects, if not your own body, to create a shield which is rejective of communication. So, if you have salt and pepper on the table, if you have a drink on the table, if you have any sort of pottery or greenery, which this woman does, on the table, it'd be in your best interest to move it out of the way so it's not completely central between you both, because otherwise it'll be, preventing direct communication. Now, if you're communicating and the individual puts an object in between you, or perhaps more likely when she's having a drink and she puts that down in between you, it would probably be in your best interest to find a means, if not at the very least understand where the communication is at that point. Okay? You don't want any sort of blocking between you both. Now, when she is holding a drink, or even if you've gone out for food, let's say that, I wouldn't recommend it for your first date, it's a bit messy, but which I got a story for you, to be honest, in regards to one of my first dates going out. I went somewhere and it was a complete hassle, and I'm going to leave that for another one, alright? Going to leave that for another one. And it's regarding food. When they are holding or possessing something, are they using the one hand or the two hands? Because one hand to hold a drink is normal, right? I'm sure when you're at home and you pick up a glass, you may possibly do it with one hand and drink with one hand. But if she's using both her hands to hold it, she's using that as a form of shield, alright, in between you both. Using it symbolically to sort of draw the line between you both, alright? So you want to pay attention to that as well as yourself, because you may subconsciously be doing this yourself. If you feel a bit insecure or so on and so forth. Alright? After so long, mirroring is going to happen between you both as you start to work in flow. So if you consistently have an open body language, if you have your chest out, if you have your stomach out, and you're not crossing anything or blocking yourself up, given that you're doing all right and having positive conversation, she herself will match you in doing so, okay? But if you come across defensive and you lean away and you cross your arms and so on and so forth, you're not going to be doing a good job in influencing her to do that, alright? So let's talk about territory on the table, yeah? If initially the table's been set out in a particular way and you've moved that to either side and it's central, what perhaps you could do as time goes on, especially when you've had a beer or two and you're feeling a little more up for it being a bit more blatant, you can slowly but surely edge what's going on to her side of the table, expanding your territory into hers, expanding your space into hers, alright? Progressively moving into her space to make the eventual touch a little less bold and shocking and a little more fluid and natural, you see. So sometimes hands will meet central at the end of it. So you'll have so much influencing moving forward and, creating a pull to this individual that maybe her hands will meet yours in the middle of the table in due time. And before that, quite possibly your feet will touch before that, as your feet are going to walk where your feet want to go. And that's how footsie happens. I did a video on that. It's one of my more popular videos, alright? So check that out. I won't go into depth now because I've laid it all out in that video. Just check the catalogue for that. And that's it. Just a few thoughts out of the mind. If you have any additions, leave a comment. Click like and click subscribe. Goodbye.